And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 1140. Today is Friday, September 1st, 2023, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at usually 10ish. Today's top stories say it ain't so. A whole 24, 48 hours later, or I guess 72 hours. I ran a story late, but still. SEC delays decision on 7 spot Bitcoin ETF applications. Bitwise withdraws Bitcoin and Ether market cap ETF application. FTX founder witnesses could cost up to 1.2 an hour, $1,200 an hour. Excuse me, 1.2 thousand. Ethereum staking services agreed to 22% limit of all validators. And last but not least, Brazilian crypto streamer loses 50K by accidentally exposing private key. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these prices on the day, see what's happening with these prices, and see what's going on in the chat as well. Welcome back to the show. Today is FBF. Initially, it was a slow news day, but it picked up a little bit. So that's pretty cool to see. And also for short-term stuff, it looks like we're right on our predictions from yesterday. Again, I forgot the articles we ran yesterday, probably from about 2 or 3 days old since I took a day off. But we did have some predictions yesterday about price as well as what would happen in the market. If you remember, I said, hey, the SEC essentially was going to take Grayscale, beating them in court in that appeals court as a slap in the face, and they would respond. And if and when they responded, the market will respond. Well, I said all that. I thought that they could ride out this good news for at least a few weeks. I thought possibly, I figured things would get delayed. But I don't know. I just thought maybe like they could ride it out. But it looked like this happened within a good 2 or 3 days. But Bitcoin's coming in back in today at $25,970, down 4.23%. Ethereum's at $1,642, down 3.49%. Ripple's at 50 cents, down 3.19%. I got to be honest, folks, with the talk of all the Fed now and CBDCs and intra-bank and intra-region trading, I mean, unless one of these governments in the United States, one of these major companies adopt XRP, we can see essentially this price kind of dwindle down even more and the market share further kind of eclipse for forever. I mean, honestly, I can always see them having a market share. Countries and banks actually using them, they do work. But as far as competing with these other governments, it's going to get tougher and tougher as the days go on. Number 7, Cardano at 25 cents, down 1.91%. Number 9, Solana at $19.65, down 5%, 5.02%. And Tron at number 10 at 7 cents, up 1.15%. Trending tokens are CyberConnect. Cyber is up 25%. Not Financial Advice up 14%, 0.32. And Bitcoin down 4.44%. Fear and Greed Index in one day has dropped 5 points back to 35. And again, this is like I fully understand the market for me to be able to analyze it like that and it's happened like this. So I'm not saying like I don't understand the market. I would say I still don't understand the psychological buying patterns unless this is literally just like I'm not accounting for a percentage of gamblers for real. Because again, for the price just to pop up, as I won't go through this again. I won't beat the dead horse. We talked about it yesterday, but for the price just to pump because an appeals court said, "Hey, the SEC now has to review this stuff." Like that is no reason for the price to pump just because they said that the SEC has to do their job. Now they get to just do their job, quote unquote, and shroud it in more mystery by saying things like, well, yeah, we looked at it or we're looking at it, but it's going to take us a longer time. So, without further ado, let me get some quick shout outs and then we'll jump to the first story. Bitcoin dominance at 48.3%. Ethereum dominance has slipped another 0.1%, is at 18.8% as well. And again, that Fear and Greed Index is at a 35. Really quick, let me give some quick shout outs. City you want me to. Let me get some quick shout outs out there. Mike Main, Bitcoin Madam, BK Crypto, Raquanji, Holloway, Fam Bam, Jay, Dub, Reno Gamble, Wisdom Bars. Oh, that is a W. I thought that said J Dub. Hilarious. Nerd Up. How many developers? I'm applying for SEC chair, y'all. F with me. You already know it. Who else we got? Jerome Jones is going on. Reno Gamble. Welcome back to the show. Jake Fever, Robert Vermouth. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Of course, I'm about to put this link in the chat. Today is Fuck Bitcoin Friday. If you want to call in, share your favorite coin, tell me what I got wrong this past week, let me know. We only had a couple shows, and I'm on my high horse today with this analysis from yesterday. So I don't think I got anything wrong this week. But if I did, call in. Tell me all about that shit. Tell me what I don't know about when I need to go study. Let me know. All right. Top story of the day. SEC delays decision on what is now 7 spot Bitcoin ETF applications. Now, as BlackRock has been officially included, the SEC has delayed its decision on coin exchange traded fund applications from Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Galaxy, Valkyrie, Van Eck, Bitwise Asset Management, and Fidelity, and now, of course, BlackRock as well. To be honest, folks, if these were going to happen, that appeals win wasn't helping at all, right? Like, let's say the SEC was like, you know what, we'll let BlackRock and Fidelity go through this round, like, and then that appeals thing happened. Oh, you better believe even BlackRock and them were like about to get hit with the shock of the century. Like, oh, F no. So again, they have too much respect for the BlackRocks and Fidelities of the world to not give them the application clearly, whether they want to or not, or at least not to review it. That's been decided in court as well. But what they don't have enough respect for is to delay it. They'll definitely delay it. Again, our key, I think we're looking at on this timeline is going to be the next happening. That's what the government is looking at as well. So anything they can delay to the next happening or as close to the next happening works for them. They just don't want any more new activity. I think they don't want, whether it's a future, whether it's a ETF, they just don't want any more new activity. They don't want any more new staking services. Nothing new. The government is like, y'all killing us with this new stuff. All right, we're trying to catch up right now with Bitcoin mixers and stuff. It's too much new stuff. So I would say they don't want anything new in general. And the best way to stop that from happening is to slow down and destroy it. They know they can't legally destroy it. They're in the spotlight. So it's time to slow it down. So again, this is the United States SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, because you know they're trying to take power of all crypto by essentially labeling them securities. And people have been letting it happen, especially the people who migrated over to this industry from other professions where they made a lot of money. They are definitely here for the regulators to do this, but it's destroying the market. So the SEC has postponed its decision on now 7 applications for spot Bitcoin ETFs, exchange traded funds. According to filings dated August 31st, Commission has designated a longer period in which it may review spot Bitcoin ETF applications from, again, Wisdom Tree, Van Eck, Invesco, Galaxy, Bitwise, and Valkyrie, as well as the Wise Origin Bitcoin Trust proposed by Fidelity and, again, BlackRock as well. The SEC will have another 45 days upon publication in the Federal Register to consider the proposed rule change allowing listing of the investment vehicles, giving the regulator until October to approve, deny, or delay a decision. I think the next date is October 17th. So that's the next date we'll be looking at. I'm not sure which exact date that is on the calendar as far as the weekday goes. But again, here's what's interesting to me, people. And here's why it wasn't that breaking. To me, this has been more disrespectful than them actually granting the ETF. And what I mean is this, like, this isn't news or a surprise to the SEC. They weren't granting ETF applications. So why wait until the last day or last couple of days to say, oh, we had to file for a delay 24 hours before, 15 hours before, and now we have another 45 days. Like, why are you messing with the market? Like, to me, that is market manipulation. That is market manipulation to me. A federal regulator, government body, I guess now, are the ones to say when it's okay or not okay to invest in certain things, what type of investment they are. They're the powerful ones on this, right? They're the A side of this, right? The A side is essentially saying, when it comes to 7 different projects, too, 7 different huge companies, BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, you mean to tell me they were 4 hours away from allowing all 7 of these organizations to have Bitcoin ETFs? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt there was a conversation or one signature or something like, oh, we can't get that one signature before the end of the close of business today. I guess we need to extend another 45 days by using the same forms that would take someone's signature. Like, it doesn't make sense. So the fact that they're waiting the last day to file these forms, delay this stuff and not tell the public and not tell these companies ahead of time that, hey, you're not getting it. To me, that's the same bullshit as not even reviewing the application. They're not doing their job. Like, you're waiting the last day. That's market manipulation. You knew good and well these weren't going through a week ago, and you waited the last day. Why is the SEC doing this? Why is an American company doing this to American companies? Listen, I'm fighting for these multi-billionaires at this point right now. This is crazy. So, again, this is Bitcoin ETF. I didn't expect it to happen. You're not going to embarrass the SEC in the appeals court and think anything's going to get passed. So, you know what? I will say this. There's a strong possibility, again, that they plan to pass 1 or 2 of them. And they were waiting for that appeals court to see what happened. They were like, you know what? We walk away with the power. We'll give you all a little taste. We'll give you a little sprinkle, let you know how it feels to be on top. But if we walk away embarrassed, no one gets nothing. And that's exactly what happened. They walked away embarrassed. No one got nada. And back to the games we go. 45 days, October 17th. Next Bitcoin ETF application. And again, I say the price should not go up and down. It shouldn't pump and dump. Depending on this ETF application, we still don't know what it's going to do to the market. And since the market is reacting so damn dumb to it, since it is acting like a gambling thing, where it's like, oh, SEC was, an appeal. A judge made an appeal to the SEC to just review applications. The price must go up. Oh, no, they're not going to give us the spot Bitcoin applications. Price must go down. If we're playing that game and it's that easy to manipulate the price with people out there, then I'm telling you, there's a good chance, even after these Bitcoin ETF applications are passed, we can have a momentarily pump. I can't say the right word for this. We have a pump in the moment, momentarily pump, moment of pumps. We can have a quick pump. There it is. We can have a quick price pump. But it also can be a long dip and a long bear market if these institutions who offer the Bitcoin ETFs can pimp the general marketplace to believe that those institutions don't need to have the underlying Bitcoin, especially if those ETFs are going to be settled in cash. Just the ability to buy Bitcoin, just to have the access to buy Bitcoin could be a powerful enough tool to say this equals an ETF. Put it, for example, follow me now. The United States and places in the United States and China have already made it hard to buy, sell, trade, and exchange Bitcoin. Those are the choke points we talked about as far as capital flight. Shout out to Trek, PFC Wells. He keeps talking about capital flight and choke points for your capital. So those are some of the things right there, right? That you in the United States and China, there's it's becoming very difficult to buy, sell, swap Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, so on and so forth. So what if it becomes that, hey, the people who have access to a lot of Bitcoin, that is the value in of itself, right? To have access to buy and sell gold from around the planet is valuable in of itself, since you're almost a marketplace, a trading place. So they could kind of roll that over to the derivative side of the house and say, yes, this Bitcoin ETF, I don't know, let's say this for out the blue, since they're doing it out the blue anyway, let's just do it out the blue, right? That's how they create these things. Our Bitcoin ETF is worth 1 million Bitcoins, not because we own 1 million Bitcoins, but because we have the ability to buy 1 million Bitcoins. Let's say at today's price, Bitcoin is at 29K or 30K, 25K, whatever, right? I would say 30K. Today's price of Bitcoin is at 30K. We have the ability to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. That makes our Bitcoin ETF worth $1 billion, right? You can settle this in cash, you can do everything in cash, and just that narrative could make an entire Bitcoin ETF from one of these huge companies derivative, paper, fake, poof, thin air, fairy dust. It's nothing. What they say on Wall Street, they could do that overnight with a narrative. So just because they're going to be offering Bitcoin ETFs does not mean these institutions are going to go and aggressively buy Bitcoin. Also, if that were to happen, their game plan were to aggressively buy Bitcoin to back these ETFs to say 1-to-1, which I don't think is going to happen, whatever. Like when they already start, those companies we just mentioned that were denied, some of them have Bitcoin and large stashes of Bitcoin. None of them have enough Bitcoin if the Bitcoin ETF market were to take off, unless again you were going to make a derivatives on derivatives. So when would this buying start? Would the SEC today or October 17th say, hey, we just granted these 7 Bitcoin ETF applications, and then overnight these 7 organizations start buying millions of Bitcoins, millions of dollars of Bitcoin like that night? I don't think that's the way businesses work usually. So I'm going to say there's a bigger play here right now. And I mean, this whole Bitcoin ETF thing could be a big duping where the price is stays dead and gets even deader once we realize a lot of the market cap's being sucked out into a paper derivative with a storyline behind it, storyboard behind it, right? So I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. But you better believe if you have a BlackRock, you have a Fidelity, the money that's going to be going into the marketing, the education, the stories, the narratives. I mean, they're going to make this Bitcoin ETF sound like shit. Like Bitcoin, yeah, whatever. Let me show you what this piece of paper can do. Okay, it's going to be one of those things. So I don't know. Be on the lookout for it. In the same vein as well, I wanted to just hit on the second story real quick, and that's Bitwise withdraws Bitcoin and Ether market cap ETF application. I'm not sure exactly what happened as far as the tap on their shoulder or just utter disgust. But they've essentially said, you know what, we're not going to play the game anymore. We're not going to play the game anymore. It looks like Bitwise has come out to withdraw their ETF application while it was unexpected. In the following statement read, the fund seeks to provide investors with capital appreciation. There can be no assurance that the fund will achieve its investment objective. Now, first and foremost, shout out to Bitwise. Hand clap. Hand clap, because this is what I'm talking about. Don't just take money because you can take it. If it's not making sense. This is what I'm talking about. These projects have like, we have $1 billion for this crypto ICO, and this is like $1 billion. Did you just hire 300 devs? Are you making Call of Duty 6 right now? Because that's how much money they're using. They're up and running already, not for a new project. So whenever I hear like $1 billion for an ICO, or I have a 120-page white paper I want you to read because this is way more important than Bitcoin. It's like, all right, listen, here, let me talk to you about some people, Lord and Savior of Bitcoin. No, here's the deal. When it comes to, again, these, whether it's the long white papers or all the money that gets thrown in the projects that's unneeded, unnecessary, it is a breath of fresh air to see a company say, you know what, we're not going to make a move to get more quick term money because it's going to shoot us in our foot long term. We cannot assure this fund will achieve its objective. Not only that, 2 things. First, I would say not only are they not sure it's going to achieve its objective on its own, but essentially with SEC interference, which they're clearly going to get and have, that's a dangerous game to play. So I can see and agree why they will pull back. And the second thing is, it might not have been that they don't think it can reach its objective. It could be that, hey, I don't want to piss off the bully anymore. Like literally, that could just be it where they're like, look, we're not as big as BlackRock and Fidelity. They're finding out Uncle Sam's a lot stronger than he looked, right? Fidelity and BlackRock, Uncle Sam, old ass, man, listen, I didn't wrestle him. Hey, BlackRock said, listen, I didn't wrestle Uncle Sam about 568 times, and he got me once. Once when I was like 8 years old, man, I was having a bad day. He caught me slipping. But Uncle Sam ain't that strong. That's what BlackRock Fidelity been saying all year, right? It's like, watch, this is going to be another walk in the park. They're even finding out that Uncle Sam got some grown man strength. They're like, oh, I didn't know his back was that big. His shirt, you know, they wear them Bitcoin hoodies that hide his back. It hide his back. I didn't know his back was that big. So that's essentially what's happening right now with some of these different companies, Uncle Sam. They're finding out the hard way. Bitwise is saying, yo, I had a chance to get in there and we would just play fighting. We didn't even do nothing for real. But when he grabbed my wrist, I was like, oh, okay. Like, hey, all right, he's a little stronger than I thought. We don't want no parts of it. So because of Uncle Sam's strength, SEC's strength, Bitwise was like, you know what? We'll just blame it on market conditions. Possibly we can't guarantee nothing. But by and large, they said they want that smoke. All right, I understand Bitwise. The real thing, the tap on the shoulders have been happening. We thought we can ignore them and go in with some other big bros. We was like, you know what? Hey, if BlackRock and Fidelity going, I'm going with them. And then all of a sudden, Uncle Sam came through, was like, oh, y'all didn't teamed up on me like the Avengers? Oh, this ain't shit. And just smack, 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 punch, punch, flip, smack, punch, flip, smack. And Bitwise like, no mas, we want no more. So essentially, that's my side of what happened. In a withdrawal statement, though, Bitwise said, the trust no longer intends to seek effectiveness of the fund, and no securities of the funds were sold or will be sold pursuant to the above mentioned post-effective amendment to the trust registration statement. Again, when you're using all those big words and that corporate, this is not on. Listen, we don't want nothing to do with nothing. Don't come back and try to retroactively sue us. We didn't make no money. We didn't sell nothing. Nothing happened. This thing is dead. That is what this statement reads. Seriously, though, the reason why I'm covering this, and I think this is important, is because they're, as you see here, they're actually not the first to withdraw. Earlier this year, it submitted an application for an Ethereum strategy ETF and withdrew that as well. But I don't think they're going to be the only company to withdraw also. I think only the companies with the legal teams, the money to have those legal teams to kind of hang around and fight in the appeals process are going to stay. These smaller, more novel companies, I think, are going to withdraw those applications. I mean, honestly, it might be one of those things where the SEC is even telling FTX and BlackRock through different channels is like, hey, we want to approve yours, but we can't do it with these Bitwises right next to you. So you all figure it out over there. Let us know over here, and we'll approve them when that happens. And so far, they haven't figured it out or beginning to. I expect that this next cycle, again, possibility one or two can get passed, but I think we'll delay it. October 17th, what's going to be done October 17th that couldn't just be done just now? I think they'll delay it again, and they won't tell it till last day. That's what I'm thinking right now. I mean, new news could change things, new information. I think as of now, they'll delay it, though. And if they delay it again, we'll see at least one more project drop. Just the same way we'll draw the application. If that's the case, then the fix is in. They're basically saying, look, we're going to start approving you. We're going to start bringing people through. BlackRock and Fidelity first. You all know the line. And once we get through, we'll double back and come get some of you all. But what we're not going to do is 7 all in the same freaking 48-hour period after you publicly embarrass us in court. That's what we're not going to do. All right. Let me know what you all think in the comments. And again, feel free to call in. Oh, hold on. I just saw there we go. Kendra, shout out to Kendra. It's my birthday. It's Kendra's birthday. Happy birthday, Kendra. Virgo season. There we go. Jake Fever, you funny as I don't know what, bro. Let's see. What else do we have in the comments today? What do you all think about what's going on in these stories we cover in the SEC? Did anybody think that these were going to get passed? I mean, was this a surprise or no? Clearly, it was a surprise. How many developers said denied? Clearly, it was a surprise because the price reacted aggressively to it. It went down further than what it once were a few days ago. But yeah, I don't know. Jake said you was on point this week. Should talk more shit about BitBoy. Listen, I've never really went hard on BitBoy. It's just how he does crypto. I talk about people who doing different things in crypto who are not messing with crypto a certain way. Don't know him personally, so don't have any personal issues. But no, in general, I've told myself when it comes to the online and YouTube streamers and stuff to try to be as nice as possible. Okay. Clearly, no one has that or any real life experience between like 98% of them with anything they talk about. And that's just not on YouTube. That's even in real life. Like speakers who travel the world and say they were in the military and people who do this. Like, if you really look at a lot of people don't have these experiences, it's hilarious. They talk about what I would consider experience adjacent. So no, I'm not going to just, I can't just go after BitBoy when it's literally at this point, I'll have to count 50 of them off the top of my head. So no, it's all good. It's just hilarious how they're able to get this volume. I got to figure that out. Well, actually I have. I'm not spending money on marketing. Let's see. GS Partners, not familiar with GS Partners, Mark. I got to check them out. Let's see what's going on. Megan Gomes, Kaiser, what's going on? Let's see. Robert Vermouth said they need to pass them all. The first one would have a huge advantage otherwise, and that is what they're banking on, that huge advantage. They want that huge advantage to go to one of their friends that they're invested in as well, at least invested in from a voting point of view at the very least. Let's see. I am Will Godsey said I'm buying Bitcoin off Snapchat, but want to transfer my sats to a cold wallet. What's a good one for beginners? Of course, check out the iCoin wallet. We'll be talking about them later, but make sure you check out iCoin. We partner with them. They're doing a great job as well. Oh, Cash App. Yeah, Cash App, iCoin. I'm not going to lie. In my head, when you said Snapchat, I was like, I didn't know you could do that yet. I got to cover that story, but all right, Cash App. There we go. How are we feeling about BlackRock being top shareholders in 4 of the 5 largest Bitcoin mining companies? I mean, fair play. Anybody can buy into it, and for them, that's smart. They're not going to be, if they're not going to mine themselves and they still want to reap the benefits, then yeah, getting involved in a company, especially at that level, is good. Infinite Blink, surprise, surprise. I am not sipping on anything but that fresh H2O. This is just early morning, but baggy, cloudy eyes. I went to sleep super late last night, and this is just the look for that. But no, I'm drinking water this morning. It's that fresh agua. But listen, it is not above me to have me a little brewski wooski in the morning. I want to be clear about that, folks. I would definitely drink a couple of brews. And if you know me, go run, work out, and do some pull-ups afterwards, straight military style, okay? So it's not above me, but it's not happening today. This is all water over here. I just look like, I'm telling y'all, some days I just look like this. I'm just out of it. I kind of. Let's see. Justin Form, he said Uncle Sam's that kid that finally beat his dad at basketball and kept beating him, right? Now he dunking on him and everything. It's like, damn, all right. I ain't used to dunking you when you was a kid. Let's see. Uncle Zyro said Uncle Sam is Thanios. Yes, you already know he is Thanios. Who said it? Said, "Hello, we love these Uncle Sam stories." Look, I know him. I know Uncle Sam personally, Robert. I'm telling you. Said Uncle Sam fighting a multi-pronged battle. Felt that medicine strength through the wrist grab, that grown man strength is what I'm assuming it meant to say. Let's see. Just inform you, say if you're speaking ownership, if you buy Bitcoin on your own and off ramp. Okay, thanks. That was answering that comment. I appreciate that. See the warriors in the chat always answer people. I appreciate that. Robert said Big Boy put out a new video last night saying he cheated on his wife and was on his weight loss drugs that made him crazy. I'm not believing this, bro. I'm not believing this. But if so, I'm with just inform you. I'm not believing he relapsed. He's just ducking the feds. That's basically what's happening, people. Like, look, listen, that pressure different. I can tell. Listen, listen. This is what I'm saying. People got to stay in their lane. Here's the thing. I'm trying to see how I can I'm going to stay on task and stay on crypto, but just really quick. Again, I did PR for the military people, like not only just from my own observations and studies through college and growing up that I learned how to read some people, but I mean, I did PR for the military. You learn this stuff. Like if people are doing 180s, like jerking around, like, oh, we're just walking. So you and I, we're walking next to each other, right? We're doing a 4-mile walk. We're just walking for 4 miles. And at some point in that 4 miles, you just jerk and do something weird and you just start walking different. I'm gonna be like, bro, what's wrong with you? Like, what's going on? Something is different about you. How do I know this? Because for 3 miles straight, we've been walking next to each other the same way, a certain way. Your walk's been the same, your gait's been the same, you've been breathing the same. And then for 3 or 4 seconds, your body just had an exorcism before you went back to walking, kind of. Something's different. Something's a foul. What's going on? Like, that's easy to spot. So for a Big Boy example, I don't know what you all just said was true, but even from the reports we had so far, why would suddenly he just want to fuck up his empire? Unless there's a bigger monster, bigger storm brewing. And no, I'm not going for the drugs. I'm not going for the drugs. All right, listen, you're able to get 3 million followers on YouTube, but drugs? Nah, listen. Nah, y'all not getting me with that one. That's that FTX Sam Bankman-Fried. What? I didn't know Alameda had the funds. Would you look at that? Is it hot in here or is it just me? I don't know. Maybe it's just me and it's hot in here. I'm on a roll today, okay? Speaking of them, FTX. Listen, you love my segues. My segue game is a fool, okay? I just want y'all to know that. But FTX founders, expert witnesses could cost up to $1,200 an hour. $1,200 an hour. I wanted to cover this to say that, yeah, that's about right. This one actually shouldn't have been a story. I mean, I guess, I do understand. Trust me, I do understand. That's crazy for some people. But it's super relative. It makes sense. Really quick, I go through it and I'll throw a couple anecdotes there. Sam Beckman-Fried's potential expert witnesses could charge more than the U.S. prosecution witnesses, according to court filings, as they should as well, because the U.S. prosecution witnesses are being paid for by taxpayer dollars. So for sure on that one. But again, this is at the start date of the trial of the FTX co-founder, Sam Beckman-Fried. He approaches new court filings that indicate that he could pay his expert witnesses more than $1,000 an hour should they testify on his behalf. He calls 7 expert witnesses to testify at his fraud trial, which is currently scheduled for October 2nd, 2023. They include Lawrence Aka, Thomas Bishop, Brian Kim, Pembley, Bradley Smith, Peter Vanella, and Andrew D. Wu. Some of the witnesses, such as former Federal Election Commission chairperson Bradley Smith, will charge SBF's legal team $1,200 an hour to testify about issues as the United States campaign finance laws, such as the United States campaign finance laws and straw donors, according to court filing. And you can see here, this person Smith said, in filing, my compensation in this case is not in any way contingent or based on the opinions presented herein or in the outcome of those legal proceedings. So essentially what's happening, as it should happen, and that's just one. The other ones are going, let's see, 400, 650, 1,000, 720, whatever. But the way it works is that people, subject matter experts in their positions, or not even experts sometimes, but just, still the subject matter expert, but not necessarily an expert, but the best person to reach for this information, right? They charge high prices. A, B, they charge their real rate when they're actually dealing with a big organization. If you're dealing with government, if you're dealing with a Fortune 500 company, if you're dealing with a company, first, like the prices we charge for the individual, like if one person asks us something, it's like, all right, well, whatever. We really don't even do one-on-one or individual stuff anymore. I don't do one-on-one individual stuff anymore. But the prices I will try to charge to one person or one individual are considerably lower than what I would charge to the company. So yes, these numbers align with that. Not just myself, a ton of other people in crypto chart. Like, I mean, people, when you're talking about these conferences and you're doing stuff with these other companies, yes, 1,000 plus an hour is not that expensive. It's about right. It is about right for these subject matter experts and people in these high places. So I'm with it. I mean, that's fair. You want him to come to trial, whether it's prosecution side or his side. And I'm a voting commissioner before, or for me, if it were me, I'm charging you 1.6 right now. If it were me going to go testify at SBF's trial, my price would be $1,600 an hour. It's been paid by record companies, been paid by institutions, been paid by banks already. So it's not even a proof of concept question. It's what it actually is. So yeah, 1.2 is great. 1.2 thousand is great. 1,200 is great. It's all relative. And I mean, shit, don't commit crimes. And we won't have to have all these people understand. But no, they're not going to. No, you don't decrease. NBA, I'm still going to get my money regardless of what the team decided to do. As they said, whether they win, lose, wherever the case, you want me to come in and work and give. And here's why, people. For example, when it comes to, let's talk about the one they have. Former Federal Election Commission chairperson. How much do you all know about the Federal Election Commission, the practices, the policies, who gets hired, who gets fired, how it works? Like, who knows the in and outs besides this person here, right? And this is a government type position. So yeah, for someone at that level where a lot of people don't know this information, or let me be clear, because I know a lot of people, Fumble McBumble out there. Oh, you can learn how to be a federal election commission chairperson online. You can, you definitely can. But for the case, they need an expert right now. So you either spend the next 3 or 4 years learning how the federal election voting process and everything works and slow down the trial, or we can just hire somebody who knows what the fuck they're talking about and pay their price. And it looks like $1,200 is the running price. So to me, this was not really a non-story, but I guess since a lot of people kind of freaked out of these prices, is like, I'm like, do y'all understand when we're talking about professional? We're talking about BlackRock. They have trillions of dollars of assets under management, trillions. And all these other companies who have those ETF applications in the same pot want to compete with BlackRock. You guys are getting the enterprise institution hourly rate. All right. Like, it's that simple. Like, you want to have an ETF, but you don't got a $1,200 to pay the expert on federal voting. It's like, come on. It's not, nah. You're not. Listen, Disney. You're not gonna be like this with the actors. You're gonna pay the actors. I'm sorry, people. All right. Oh, I don't know what happened. All right. What else do we have? Make sure you smash those likes and shares for sure. Checking out these comments really quick. Just informed me, said learning Bitcoin and crypto on my own. I never even realized I could make money consulting. It's been helping individuals and small businesses for free. No, and anything. If you're doing it for free, I would say whenever it gets to the point where you don't have time to keep doing it for free, that's when you start charging. The people who don't, whether good, bad, or ugly, they don't value your thoughts and advice. They'll say no, thank you. Listen, I have friends who be like, nah, I've charged friends, or they be like, you're not charging me, or I don't know. I'm like, cool. Like, no offense, you can't keep asking me crypto questions. Like, it is what it is. Like, if we're not cool, then we're not cool. We are. But no, yeah. People value it, they'll pay for it. They don't, oh well. Let's see. What else do we have? S1 Dub said, to me, watching people implode mentally online is cringe. Listen, they only implode when something's going on in the background that isn't on the up and up to begin with. Okay. I'm trying to tell you, it's no one who's living like, again, going back to that walk. You're walking different. That's my point. Some of you all didn't catch that. You're walking different. You're not walking in a straight line no more. You've done something that you know deep down you probably shouldn't do. Your morals or God, universe, karma, something, but you're not walking a straight line. And that's usually when these people implode online. And it usually happens when either it's a money thing most of the time. Either they're lost it, somebody's coming for it, or jail. Or they hit. Maybe they pissed off the wrong person. He was in Bahamas going crazy. But by and large, it's usually like, I'm telling you, they're not walking the straight and narrow, folks. It's that simple. That's why I said when we're walking 4 miles and you do something different. I've been around a lot of humans. People walking the straight and narrow, these random things just don't happen like that. I'm trying to tell you, just don't happen. Robert said I'm funny. Yeah, listen, I actually am on the background. I'm just been messing around. Sometimes I decide not to. KB, any discounts on iCoin wallets? Yes, look in the show description. We've been having an ongoing partnership with them. I believe it's TOG 23. So check that out as well. Let's see what else we have. All right. I see some great comments come in. Make sure you smash that like and share. And again, if you want to call in, go ahead and do it as well. All right. Let's see. Last couple of stories. This one was hilarious. Hey, who needs proof of work when you have proof of sharing? That's at least what I'm calling it. I'm calling it proof of sharing. Listen, I'm about to cry. A technology forward movement is using human word of mouth as a consensus validator. We're using a good old fashioned handshake and I trust them as our smart contract. Oh man, I'm not gonna even say R as Ethereum smart contract. They're using a good old I thought I could trust them. I thought I could trust them. That's right. Ethereum staking services agree to 22% limit of all validators. If you're anything like me, you probably saw that headline, was like, huh? What are you talking about? The 22% self-limit rule ensures at least 4 major staking entities would need to collude in order for the chain to reach finalization. Now, first and foremost, I want to be clear. The only thing stopping this collusion at this point is them just not colluding. So if they ever were to say, Bumblebee, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know all the little things. Megatron, Optimus Prime, make that big ass robot dinosaur. I don't know what they call. Listen, I didn't have the good childhood. I didn't have all the toys and I didn't watch all the cartoons. But you know what I'm trying to get at. Transformers, all right? If If these four decide to transform, they're going to turn into a big robot ass who hard it will be to kick. Okay, that is what I'm trying to say. But I didn't watch enough cartoons to get it. But that is where I was trying to land. At least 5 Ethereum liquid staking providers have either imposed or are working to impose a self-limit rule in which they promise, that's right, proof of sharing. They promise, I pinky promise, not to own more than 22% of the Ethereum staking market, seen as a move to ensure the Ethereum network remains decentralized. Whoa, yeah. Somebody promised. Hey, listen. You have power in your home. You own your own house. And I can't do anything until I do. Until I kick in your door and I just do whatever the hell I want. But other than those days, the house is all yours, folks. It's like you're at this to me sounds like we're all at an Airbnb. It's like, yeah, you can do what you want instead of XYZ. But other than that, it's basically yours, except it's mine. And I pay all the rent. But other than that, it's basically yours, but it's not. Like, what are you talking about? They promise not to own more than 22%, and this is going to make sure it remains decentralized. I actually had to butt in this time. Usually I'm on the sideline for the whole Ethereum conversation. I let it go. And the reason why is because I kind of want to see what the finished product or as finished as a finished product will be before I really start saying yay, nay, whatever. But I mean, it's days like this where it's like, all right, you got to say something. Among the Ethereum staking providers either already committed or are working to commit to the self-limit rule include Rocket Pool, Stakewise, Stater Labs, and Diva Staking, according to the Ethereum core developer Superfizz. I mean, really quick, does names like Diva Staking and Rocket Pool sound like the type of organizations that will promise you not to own more than their fair share of a network? No, it doesn't. A and B, how long does this promise last? Until more money comes and the network becomes even more of a behemoth? Then all of a sudden it's, oh, well, I know we said 22, but X, Y, and Z and X, Y, Z and narrative, and excuse, and FUD. I think 24%. 5-10 years later, I think 32% smart. 8 years later, listen, guys, at 40%, we can make sure that the network never does this again. Years later, all right, we really need a 50-50 because you want humans. Like, here we go. Like, why not 17%? Why not 4%? Why not say, to make this really decentralized, we're not going to own more than 5% of people, and all the extra that we had, we're going to give to random citizens around the globe to make sure it's decentralized, kind of like what Bitcoin did. I don't know. This is pretty funny. As this guy superfizz.each says, this is how our chain will be successful. Coordination above greed. Cooperation instead of winner take all. Coordination, while it's above greed, doesn't sound like it's above consensus. And again, I'm not doing any smart contracts that are proof of promise or promise of sharing or whatever you want to call it. I am not interested in this at all. If anything, this is actually super scary to me. Now, if I'm getting this wrong, I have before, make sure you call in or you hit me in the comments and say, hey, no, you read into this wrong. It shouldn't do this. It should probably do that. But we all know how that conversation goes usually. And usually, I'm more closer than I am further away. So with that being said, as it stands right now, until I read, because again, I just saw it this morning. You all know I read the headlines. I go through the articles with you. I haven't done my due diligence on this yet. So let me say that. But the way it read right now and what I saw already is just like, are we really doing proof of promise, promise of sharing contracts, like smart contracts, codified contracts? Don't have the biggest players in that space saying, oh, well, we're just going to promise not to do that. We're going to smart contract everything else. And we're going to make everything else about zeros and ones and show you how fast and speed and server space and storage and that. But for the actual ownership, I promise you, we're going to do the right thing. That was a good one. I needed that. Poop, as in Cario said, proof of other proof. What is it? It went too fast. Proof of others promise. There you go. Trek. Okay, appreciate that, PFC Wills. All right, shout out to the Warriors in the chat. I needed y'all to either tell me I was going crazy or I'm right. I love coming to you all for my own crypto advice as well. PFC Wills, so you're not wrong. It's going to play out funky. Just give it some time. Listen, with a straight face, they're doing this though, and they want you to believe this is going to be the future of all of everything Ethereum. And it could be if we decide to just literally do a digital dollar and call it Ethereum, basically. But they're literally promising us, like, the Federal Reserve has made promises. Ethereum, stop promising us stuff. I can't believe y'all did. I can't believe that's some tone deaf shit, and they know better. That's what's even more like, that's the most funny, like the most hilarious thing to me. They know better. So to me, oh man, this type of stuff when Ethereum does this type of thing, and that's the headline. This makes me scared for the entire market. And the reason why is because this is showing me the chinks in their armor as well. And it's showing the government that if you can say, hey, we'll do 22% here, whatever here. Now, you all know I'm for self-regulation. That is great self-regulation. However, for the government, it shows centralization. And that centralization allows them to pinpoint a person or persons or people and control them, and by way of controlling them, essentially control the network and control things like Ethereum. So that's just that's the deep worrisome part about that, more than just the hee ha ha. It's like, guys, this isn't a consensus mechanism. And if you decide not to use a real consensus mechanism, do things like this, the government will also pick up on it and say, all right, what other ancillary companies, businesses, projects, organizations are you involved in? Where do you live? You better not be doing anything wrong anywhere. And as it stands the way it is today, it's pretty easy to do anything wrong anywhere. So I don't know. To me, it's just like, if Ethereum's doing that, to me, it's an indictment on the greater market, what we could possibly expect. And that's more bullshit. It is unfortunately more bullshit. We'll see though. PFC Will said this could lead to a sideway voting for rug pull by vote. That's why. Oh, see, that's my point. So I think you typed it kind of a little wrong, or I'm reading it wrong. But that is my point. I didn't want. Oh, you said it. I didn't say it. PFC Will said it. He basically said this looked like some type of weird rug pull. That is my point. I didn't want to say it and go that far because I am becoming more mature and realizing, like, some of these statements, as much as we joke and like, hey, it could be a rug pull, like, it's in a sense you should take that with a grain of salt. So don't go crazy, right? So like, you gotta be careful when you say it. Take that with a grain of salt, but also on the flip side, take it as a grain of salt. You know, if somebody put some salt in your eggs, you know, if you eat something, if it's salty, if it's been salt added. So take it with a grain of salt. Don't go crazy. It's just a little bit, but also understand it's in the food. That's all I'm saying about Ethereum. I thought the same thing. I didn't want to say it, but since PFC Will said, I'll say it. It's looking scammy. What we doing this? Listen, it's too late in the game to say, hey guys, we promised to do this with a project the size of Ethereum. That is scary. And like I said, it's an indictment on the overall market. And I mean, shit, go ahead and give the government a base hit. I mean, to me, that's what it looks like. Ethereum is now just another oligarchy. The lords will limit their dominance to 22%, said Price Cobbs. Won't be easy. I should have used Captain Planet. That would have been better. Thank you, Voltron. Kaiser was Voltron. That's what I was trying to say. Listen, I used to be good with this stuff. It's been a long time. All right, what else do we have? I've seen some great comments come in. It's some pretty funny stuff. PFC Will said, random thought. How many validators get shoulder tap? Would like to vote. Would it take to vote for integrating CBDCs? Great point. I mean, and again, that's the whole thing with the validators. If you just if you can get the validators essentially, then yeah, you can kind of maneuver that entire Ethereum market and you can have them add CBDCs. My fault, I was reading a comment at the same time I was about to say that. So to answer you, T-Man Cool 24 said we should change the name to Gentleman to Bitcoin instead of crypto. If you're going to bash other cryptos, just saying that was the point of the show name. So initially, especially Zay, he only wanted to talk Bitcoin. But as I told him, for a lot of people, Bitcoin would be too boring and the overall market would be geared and slanted toward crypto, which I think we've actually saw here throughout the year. So that was correct. And so it was because of that we did crypto. B, it was from the gentleman to Cali, a cartel. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like cartels bashing crypto. This all aligns in general, so it's all good. It's all good. It just made it easier. All right, last but not least, interesting story, and I wanted to bring this up to bring up another story about another essential. I think I'm not sure if they're a streamer, YouTuber, Reddit, or whatever, but we'll get to it. Brazilian crypto streamer loses 50K by accidentally exposing private key. The risks of cryptocurrency self-custody are real and should not be underestimated, as a private key can be stolen, destroyed, or lost. Looks like a Brazilian crypto streamer, Fraternidade, I don't know, crypto is one of the latest victims of safe custody practices, reportedly losing thousands of dollars due to a private key accident. During a live stream on YouTube on August 29th, the owner of that channel, Ivan Bianco, unwittingly exposed his private key to a self-custodial crypto wallet. In the middle of a live stream related to Bitcoin and blockchain games, he apparently tried to access his passwords for the blockchain games platform Gala Games through a text file on his computer. Fortunately, and that's why I kind of hate doing that when I'm streaming or even doing like the pre-record video. Sometimes I'm super careful not to show too much, or at least from anything where it's going to have like a lot of capital in it. Unfortunately for the streamer, his Gala Games password were stored in the same text file as a seed phrase for his MetaMask wallet, which had a significant number of Polygon. Shortly after accidentally opening the text file, which exposed 2 private keys for his crypto wallets, Bianco closed the live stream, but apparently it was already too late to recover the funds for the streamer. So it looks like one of his viewers managed to access his MetaMask wallet through the private key and stole his entire Polygon stash of 86,000 Matic. At the time of the accident, the amount was around $50,000. Quoted here saying, I accidentally showed my private key live and the person had really quickly sent it to another address. I tried to close the broadcast and send crypto to another address, but I was too late. Bianco said in an emotional video that followed the incident. Hey, I need to see the video. I don't know where he lives or what time of the year it is. It might be tax time in Brazil. We know how that goes. What's old boy in the States? We know how this game go. What's going on? I think I'm being hacked right now. I know how this game go. Yeah, I got hacked for a couple 100,000 crypto back in the day too. I definitely understand. So it looks like he lost his entire life savings to the accident. And he was pleading with the stream viewer to return the money for a reward. I remember them days. I've tried to do that too, but unfortunately, they already have the reward, man. It is what it is. The YouTuber also said that he was planning to file a complaint to local police, noting that about 70 people were watching his unfortunate live stream. I mean, hey, it might be a way to get it, but oh man, come on, dog. You can't be you going out bad again. Walking the straight and narrow. When do influencers, YouTubers, and again, not even YouTubers and social media influencers, I'm talking about people who've been on traditional side as well. Kevin O'Leary, I'm looking at you. Like, the only time there shaketh is when the feds, gang, or money, lost money, federal government, or some type of gang, crew, clique of people, hey, we're going to need you to holler about what you said or did. That's when that face comes on. Stop it. Stop it, and take your ass to the bathroom and clean yourself up, boy. All right? That ain't going to do nothing. Trust me, I understand. But stop it. He's literally got the crying face. How old is he? Hey, he better be 14 years old with a weird beard. You grown as hell. It's a loss. You just took a lick, man. And this is my point. This face was my point once again about walking those 4 miles straight. Like, when you're on that walk 4 miles up the road, you get to know a person. You get to know they make faces like this or not. All right. Oh man, I can't say enough right now. That face is my point. He is the person people are listening to. Does that look like a person you should be listening to for anything? Like, just that face, a grown adult who makes that face when something goes wrong. So that's why I was laughing about the whole BitBoy thing. Kind of, to me, it's funny because whether it's the money thing, I highly doubt it's the money. It's probably more of the feds. Y'all don't know what comes with this game for real. It's 2023. Y'all don't know what comes with this game. Y'all need to learn how to take a punch on the chin, all right? Even if that comes from the federal government and that comes with punishments, punitive punishments. Got to take a punch. Got to learn to take a punch. This come with it. If you don't want it, stay your ass off camera, out the public light. Go sit down. Oh, sit down. Hey, sit down. You know what I mean? If you remember what I'm saying, go sit your ass down. But what you don't need to be doing is coming online and making this face. This face, if I was a follower of him, this would scare the shit out of me. Bro, hold on. I've been doing investment advice off you, brother. What's this face you're making right now? You got me nervous right now. Like, what's going on? I understand. Believe me, people, I understand it sucks. Ain't too many more people I know that lost as much money as me. I understand by scams and stuff like this. I understand. But this is not the face of a champion. All right. We're going to end it on this one. Oh, that's what I was going to say. We're ending on this. It sounds like something similar, but maybe not as bad, luckily. Almost happened with someone who had an iCoin wallet who was actually streaming something about their iCoin wallet online and had their private QR code or private keys exposed. And it looks like they were almost kicked out the wallet and something similar happened. Same thing. Like, people, a lot of this tech is working right now. It's getting better. So unless there's like an obvious glaring security hole that's coming out where it's affecting everyone, it's usually a you thing. And it's okay. It's happened to me all the time as well. But in crypto, it just means, hey, sometimes we got to slow down. We got to make sure we're doing it the right way. If you know you're going to be streaming or going online, if you're doing any type of video, pre-record or a live stream, and it's going to have your wallets on there, you need to double and triple check before, during, and after the video it was done properly and you didn't show anything. And I would highly suggest not live streaming with any type of wallets or whatever, unless I do it sometimes with like test wallets and stuff. They're not as serious to me. Worst case scenario, they get hacked. You might make away with a few $100 type of deal. So if you're comfortable with that, then cool. But by and large, this is one of those practices things where you got to have smart practices. It's not smart to be dipping and dabbling on these wallets and showing the keys in a live stream or pre-record at all. So again, if you're going to do it, make sure you're double and triple checking as well also. So again, with that being said, shout out to iCoin. Make sure you check them out if you haven't already. Code is in the description. That is the Fuck Bitcoin Friday show for today. And of course, I will see you all next week. I will say, people, in the next few weeks, listen, Hollywood is calling my name. They calling me. So if I'm ever MIA in the morning and I didn't give you a heads up the day before, I probably had an early morning shoot. I know more than likely Monday I will either be going early or late, as well as I believe a couple of days throughout the week as well. Next 2 weeks for sure. Hollywood got me booked, so I'm gonna be out and about. Smash a like and share.